One of the main upsides of pursuing a clinical psych PhD is that you get introduced to so many areas of the field all at once. Therapy, research, assessment, psychoanalysis, CBT, DBT, adult populations, child populations, individual therapy, group therapy, family therapy, couples therapy. The list literally goes on and on and on. And it can be super overwhelming as a first or second year PhD student, as I have experienced. Even if you're coming into your program already kind of having an idea of what you want to do with your future, there are so many options and so many choices that you have to make that could have a significant impact on your career path. And those choices include whether or not you should pursue opportunities that keep you on a more general path, or choose opportunities that start working you towards a specialization or niche of some sort. And this is especially important when you start applying for externship and then internship and then eventually postdoc, which I myself am in my first external externship application season. So I am literally going through these decisions right now. So today I'm just going to be going over some things that I've been thinking about and some things that you should probably think about when making these decisions. Hey, hello, my name is Jojo and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. So the first thing that I've been thinking about is, what do I want to do in my future? I know and came into my program knowing that I wanted to primarily be a clinician, but since experiencing some of my other classes, specifically assessment, I've kind of been dabbling with the idea of becoming more assessment focused, like not fully, but definitely like considering somehow making assessment a part of my career. So that's kind of like what's been going on in my mind. But like I mentioned, there are folks who come into their programs knowing exactly what they want to do and there's nothing else. They know that they want to go into academia, or they know that they want to work with children, or they want to strictly do assessment. And if that's the case for you, where you know exactly what you want to do and there's nothing else in the world that can change your mind, then it will be imperative that you choose opportunities that will get you there. If you want to do assessment, make sure that you do really well in your assessment classes. Choose externships to apply for that can guarantee that you will get a lot of assessment experience. Write as many full assessment reports as you can. And doing all of that will ensure that you have enough assessment hours to land yourself a really good assessment focused internship and then eventually an assessment postdoc. Another example, if you know you want to work with children, unless your program offers you the opportunity to work directly with children through some sort of built-in program, you will most likely need to seek that experience elsewhere. So ask if it's possible to do a mini externship of some sort in your first or second year. Then see if there are any placements available that will allow you to get some child experience. Again, apply for externships that cater to working with child populations. Overall, the point is, if you have a very specific career placement in mind, it is vital that you cater to that from the start of your program. The second thing you might want to think about is just in general, how much exposure do you actually want? Like I said, clinical psych PhD programs offer you the benefit of being exposed to a lot of different things and a lot of diverse experiences all at once. And really, it's your decision whether you want to continue to be exposed to these various areas, or if you want to focus getting a lot of exposure in one area. But being exposed to a wider range of experiences is really helpful if you are not someone who's coming into your program with a specific career path in mind and you just really want help narrowing down what it is exactly that you want to do. I have also heard quite a few folks say that specializing or working towards a specialization too early can potentially limit you in the future should you decide to shift or completely change your career path. So that's just something to keep in mind. The third thing you want to think about, and something that I've been thinking about a lot, is what are my strengths, or what are your strengths? Have you noticed, or has it been pointed out to you that you seem to work particularly well with a certain group or in a certain setting? Do you feel like you kind of naturally take on a particular therapeutic approach? Do you feel like other theoretical models just don't really mesh well with who you are? For example, for myself, and I think I mentioned this in like one or more of my update videos from last semester, though I have received training in CBT and I have provided CBT to clients, it just doesn't feel natural to me. It feels very like detached and very unyielding. And even though like I 100% understand the usefulness of CBT with certain clients and their presentations and their symptoms, and I for sure want to work towards being able to integrate CBT practices into my work as a clinician, I just know that CBT will never be my thing. On the other hand, there are folks who eat, sleep, and breathe CBT. They are strictly CBT practitioners. It just comes very naturally for them and they're good at it. And that works. So overall, yes, it is important to build all of your clinical skills. But if you're noticing that certain aspects of your clinical training just feel more comfortable or more natural to you and you are good at those things, that could be a sign that that's where your calling is. And the last thing I have been thinking a lot about is just, where do my passions really lie within all of this? I know I have talked a lot about having a more general passion for psychology and helping people and providing therapy for people. But what I've really been thinking about is within everything that I am currently doing, because I'm doing a lot right now. I am doing therapy, I am doing research, I am doing assessment, is what part of all of that do I really love? Which part of it makes you smile at the end of the day when you go home and you're exhausted and you're laying in bed? Which part of it makes you feel fulfilled? I had a conversation in my testing supervision class the other day because, like I mentioned, I've kind of been like contemplating the idea of somehow working assessment into my clinical work. And I asked my professor what her thoughts were on that, like on clinicians who are primarily therapists but offer assessment to their clients as kind of just like an option that's available to them. And she had some very strong opinions on it. Yeah, she has some really strong opinions on it. But at the end of her very warranted mini rant, she literally said, don't do it if you don't love it. And I feel like that's kind of like made me pause in the moment, because even though I know in general that I really love this field and I really love helping people, it made me think, okay, but do I really love assessment? And I don't. I really don't, but I do find it very interesting, and I do like, even though it is so much work and it takes so much time, like there is a part of it that makes me feel good. Like my experience of working with my first testing patient this semester was like super annoying, but also like I enjoyed it. So I don't know, I'm still playing around with the idea, because if this is something that I want to do in the future, then I'm going to have to think about that when applying to externships in a couple months. But yeah, I also feel like that statement of don't do it if you don't love it applies across the board. Like if you are thinking about working towards a specialization, really ask yourself if you love it, and ask yourself if you love it enough to do it for the rest of your life. And if the answer is no, or there's some hesitation, then you probably shouldn't. That's just my 2 cents, and something that I'm still thinking about when it comes to assessment. So yeah. I'm sure there are so many more things that I probably could and should be thinking about when it comes to externship applications, but like I said, there's still a couple of months away. And so I feel like my brain is just starting to think about these kinds of questions. So yeah, those are just some of the things that I've been thinking about in deciding whether I should start working towards or incorporating like a specialization of some sort, because those are some decisions that I'm gonna have to start being pretty intentional about after this year. So I decided to share my thoughts and share these questions with y'all in hopes that they would be helpful to you. But yeah, leave me a comment and let me know what your thoughts are on specializing or niching down early on versus later on in your career. For those of you who watch who may have already gone through the externship application process, leave me and anyone else who may be approaching externship applications some tips or comments or thoughts or resources down below. I would be very grateful. Or just like let me know what the process was like for you, because I can tell you right now, my program has literally said about externship applications so far. All I know is that they are listed on a website. I have gone to that website. I immediately got anxiety because the website itself is so fucking annoying. I could probably ask like a third year or a fourth year. But also like not really trying to worry about it yet. I don't know, I'm contradicting myself right now. I want to start knowing what I should be doing, but I also don't, because I don't want to like rile myself up. So anyway, that's all I have for this video. Thank you for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end. I truly appreciate it. Leave me a comment down below if you have any questions or suggestions for future videos. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and click that little notification bell so you don't miss my next upload. And I'll see you in my next one.